Hello and welcome to today's stream. Today we have a little bit of an Rliga tournament, as it happens quite often actually. But we have a battle between Colorfit, Einherier, Starman and Delta, which Colorfit is actually in this tournament because last time he regretted that he didn't join, so he couldn't have Einherier. So this time he is actually joining and he is helping him, even though it had to have a little bit of a persuasion power from my side. I'm not gonna lie. But it was certainly be fun to see. We just had to wait 1 hour for this, and yeah. I hope it's going to be worth the waiting while. Because we already had quite a few viewers, and I'm not sure, maybe some of them have already left. Apparently this is 1K10 PT. I'm already sorry for myself, waiting 1 hour and then having to spectate a game mode that is considerably one of the slowest progressing game modes in the entire game, next to probably FFA. Apparently Call of Duty is having some peasants just standing around, but I think that he knows what he's doing with them, probably scouting. After all, you cannot just stand there and not scout, otherwise you can't see where the enemy is. Apart from sometimes there seems to be a weird thing with the game where you can actually hear the enemy through the map. That's actually weird and I don't know how that's possible, but it's happening sometimes. I'm not sure if I'm actually robotic Pharaonic robot, but I don't know why. This only seems to happen when I commentate over streams, when I record games myself. It never happens. Must have something to do with the upload thingy, because yeah, this voice doesn't go over nothing to you over Call of it. So there's obviously some kind of data usage, and Call of is having balloon. so I can finally commentate on everybody. Pardon me. Simon has already gotten some hussars, which is actually quite interesting that he already is in the 18th century. Or was it always on? I haven't really checked the rules. I only saw that it's some kind of peasant army thingy, which has already made me cringe at the beginning. I do think it's 18th immediately because I don't even see any church. People seem to go for artillery depots. Probably going to see some artillery here. Well, at least from color, he's making some artillery depots. Einherier doesn't look too good compared to everybody else. Oh no, mind, he has a second section of his base. I didn't notice that. I thought he still only has 2 barracks. And people seem to be mobilizing already, which is reasonable because the peacetime is already over. Oh, Hearty, I'm not a noob. I'm not really good either. Have you even seen me play? I mean, sure, it's unorthodox, but just because of that, I'm not a noob, right? And Muhammad Polat, Delta is not pro GT, he is BIA. And it's not that going to be easy win for Delta. Definitely not. Not as far as I can see. Michael, Emperor of Rome, is Imperator basically. That works too, because Gaius is actually the name of an Imperator, the first one. Gaius Julius Caesar. So that works for me. Apparently that's probably because of my internet being rather shit, to be honest. My upload speed is very bad. Maybe it's because of that. And I can't afford a better internet connection. So I'm sorry if I sound robotic or something like that. If I would be to record this myself, I cannot stream unfortunately because my upload speed. If I record myself, my voice is pretty normal. I noticed because I always watch through my recordings before I send them off. Apparently, captures off, and people didn't notice that. And we are going to rehost. I hope that we are not going to have to wait another hour for this. And I'm actually too lazy to mute myself during this waiting time, so I'll stay with you and maybe answer your questions if you have any, or just in general talk to you. For Leon, I don't think that you can actually liquidify a voice. You can liquidify people, if you know what I mean. This was a little bit nasty, I'm sorry for that. And Michael, I wouldn't exactly say that Toggle is awesome. We are all awesome. That means we are all equal because we are all in the Call of It commune after all. So you cannot say that somebody is better than anybody else. Otherwise, Call of It is going to put you into Gulag, where you have to work for the tea farms. And you don't want that, right? Hearty, Call of It always said that I am rather 6 out of 10. I don't know how that actually is supposed to be determined, but I don't care either, to be honest. I only care about the way how I play, and if people don't like it, they don't like it. I like it, so I do it this way. And it's time to wait for Star, man. Hopefully this time we don't need to rehost short after the peace time has ended. Otherwise, I'm probably going to run out of motivation rather fast, and that wouldn't be so nice. I'm really curious how people are supposed to survive with this, with only 1k of all resources and an army of peasants. Or for this setting, the resources actually don't grab over to the spectators. Usually it does, but might also be the case that this doesn't. Apparently we have lags, and Call of It has lag spikes, so yeah, hopefully this is going to be rather um, quickly resolved. Father Nick, my maximum download and upload speed is, I don't know, I think I would have to open a speed test website now. I think that on a roughly rounded scale, my download is something like 20 megabytes per second, and my upload is roughly 2.5 megabytes per second, which is pathetic, I know. And I don't even know if it's expensive or not, but nobody bothers to give us better internet. I don't even know if that's because our area where I'm living is shit, or if German internet is overall shit. As far as I heard, the latter is the thing. And no, I'm not doing this full time, it's a hobby. Full time, I'm a student. I'm at school. And we are rehosting again. Yay! And yeah. I cannot imagine anything more better than having to rehost every day. All day, every day. But we can't change it, unfortunately. We have to get it rolling somehow, and if it doesn't roll, how is it supposed to roll then? We cannot throw a block down a hill and demand that it roll. I do agree, Michael, but I still think that this is the Call of It commune. So yeah, don't say that, please. Except if you're talking about players, like if you would be to say that Barton is better than Call of It, then you could say that. But this still wouldn't really protect you from Call of It kicking your ass, I think. It might be true that I would be a better player than you, Michael, but you could always improve, right? No, I don't think so, Artie. Except if he would somehow put some kind of brain enhancement, which makes you super good at learning, to learn everything that you have to learn in 1 hour, that I'm fairly able to play on a low piece time, not just on 50 piece time. I might not fairly not be as good, but I can play that to a small extent at least. It's really nothing special though. But it's not me who's topic of the stream. The game is topic of the stream, and hopefully we can get a game finally. So we don't have to talk about me, because I don't like talking about myself. Apparently in this mode it is quite popular again to build your town hall next to a resource depot so you can get your resources quickly, which was also the case long before. Um, yeah, long before when the game was basically out or just out. It became popular. I don't know if it was popular before in Cossacks 1, but yeah, it got popular and people like to use it. It's the same thing that with these stores, you can put it below the resource depot so that its upper right corner is very close to the resources, that your peasants are getting the resources back into the storehouse very quickly when they are finished working. Mm, nah, I'm hyped though. I'm not fairly not the best GT player, and I don't know who would it be if we don't take color into account. Probably Beppa, I'm not sure. Hardy, you can 1 versus 1 color, but you can 1 versus 1 me, because I never play this. I only play this when I'm like the one time that I uploaded, not I uploaded. I made the game. I recorded the game with AREL, where I just had to where I just had to get a game for the channel really fast. So I made this. Otherwise, I don't even play that. And for Leon, yeah, German internet sucks. And that's probably because of the Merkel-Reich politics. You cannot really go here without expecting anything bad, right? Third Reich, Merkel-Reich. What's next? We don't know, and we hopefully won't even see what's going to happen next. Well, I wouldn't consider myself too humble, Harty. I can get quite, um, I actually forgot the word that is the exact opposite of humble. I can be that indeed, yeah, on certain topics. But usually people don't get that far, because usually I tell them how that's working. Almost 6 minutes into the game and people starting to get the diplomatic centers and stables for the hussars and fodder. At least to an extent, I don't see a diplomatic center from. I don't know if the balloon is actually. If Collar actually has a balloon. Let's see. He does. Apparently everybody does. Or the fog of war is just off when you are a spectator. So we don't see a diplomatic center from Einherier and Delta yet. This should come up soon though, I'm pretty sure of that. You cannot just play a game and don't use fodder. And instead only use cavalry, that's a bad idea. You want your infantry to be pretty good as well. Well, the best Polish player, I'm not sure. The best Polish player might actually indeed be Starman, but that's only because I don't even know that many Polish players. There might be somebody else who I don't know that he's Pole, but probably Corfu will tell me if there's somebody who is actually better than Starman who is Polish. But that's not the main topic here. Einherier is building a great wall. He's probably going to try and make Delta pay for this. I doubt that he's going to be too successful at making him pay though, especially if he doesn't manage to finish this wall in time. Nobody else is building a wall though, so he might actually have a little bit of an advantage, even if it's not finished. Lermo, the currently best nation, if you would want to say that carefully, it's Switzerland. Along with these Jaegers, because they have so much range, they can simply outrange everything, and they have quite a bit of firepower too. They are quite slowly produced indeed, and you have to wait quite a long time to have the best nation with Switzerland. If you want to play fast, it's probably Poland. Or Hungary. Depends on what you prefer actually. But the swinged hussars are just unstoppable basically, except if you play heavy on knights. Because knights can actually defeat the winged hussars quite easily if they manage to engage them. That's my own experience. A little bit of a cavalry engagement going on apparently. Kolofit and Eindre are retreating even though they are in a numerical advantage. Probably they fear an infantry intervention. Or they are just trying to bait these hussars into their own infantry, which might be a good idea actually. But I don't think that they are going to take this bait. They are too smart for this, and so they are retreating. This might actually all just come down to cavalry engagement. I don't know if they are actually going to move up the infantry too soon, but Colorfit has a few cannons right there. These are going to deal a lot of damage, as nobody else seems to have cannons at all. So that's a big advantage for Collar. He could as well just go in now. Well, actually, Einherier has cannons as well. So I don't know why Starman and Delta are not using cannons. because these cannons are going to deal a hell of a lot of damage. For some reason, Delta seems to want to build a second blacksmith. Apparently Call of Duty is starting to mobilize his army now. There's still no artillery from Starman and Delta. At least not that I would see any. Broken Rango, there's not going to be an FFA today. Today is only Rliga. Only pro games, which means that we are probably going to see a lot of games with the same tactics over and over, which I'm already very happy from. Yay! But I'll do the best of it. It appears like Call of Duty is getting himself surrounded on purpose by Delta and Starman. Because then he can get some better cannon shots off, because these men are going to blob up even harder. And this cannon volley that you just hit right there did a lot of damage. I'm sure some people that like to deal a lot of damage will be proud. But we don't know who would like to do this, so we are obviously not in a position to decide that. Infantry engagement. The infantry of Delta and Starman was terribly weak, so they are getting just shredded apart. For a 10 peacetime game in a 1k apparently. I don't actually know if that's actually the rule 1k, because on my bar of resources there's actually 1k displayed, so I think it's 1k. This is actually going quite fast. And the massive Husa horde of einherier and Call of Duty is actually pulling back because of the log cabin. Fair enough. You don't want this thing to shoot at you, it's going to deal too much damage to anything that's coming close. Downside is that it takes and eats a lot of ammunition, so you want your economy to be at least a little bit sustainable. so you can sustain this thing firing. It's going to cost more iron and coal than a cannon, I think, and these already cost quite a bit. Plus it shoots faster. But on the upper hand for this, it almost one-shots everything that comes close, apart from cavalry maybe. Cavalry should take 2 or 3 shots, at least the hussars. With these cannons, Colorhood is probably going to shoot down the log cabins. Well, not probably, he is going to do that. Because you just shoot the log cabin first if you have a brain, and Colorhood does have a brain. At least I think so. I haven't seen a picture yet. Then again, who can make a picture of his own brain? And from some people it probably wouldn't be too interesting either way, but that's not the topic. One log cabin down, the second one is pretty far off, though he might have to destroy this one as well. And einherier is sitting in his base with his army, whilst Delta is moving in on Colorfit, raiding Colorfit as well. Colorfit going in all peasants, but the peasants are standing no chance. Completely slaughtered, and the hussar reinforcements that came in to try and save peasants also died. And now there's a big army of hussars coming in. And the hussars have been defeated for now. There's an infantry army from Delta standing in front of Colorfit. But einherier is moving forward and he's dragging his cannons very far behind, making them very vulnerable for hussar charges. Colorfit not constantly continuing the siege of Starman. With quite a success, he's taking out the blacksmith now. And another town hall. Now Starman cannot build any units for a short time. Well, actually he did build a second blacksmith, so he can actually. And Delta is turning around to engage with einherier, it appears like. I'm not sure if it's actually the case, but he's moving around. Starting to get off the front from Colorfit. And Delta is moving very disorganized. So is einherier, however. He could simply formated himself and then gotten ready for an attack. And einherier's cannons have gotten raided and captured. And he didn't destroy them, so now he is the one who's going to take a bunch of damage. Very poor management, I have to say, but yeah, very poor management. You don't want to leave your cannons out of your eyes, because Delta destroyed them all, and he dealt a hell of a lot of damage to einherier's army. Now it comes down to Colorfit ending the siege of Starman quickly. And Starman is also making cannons now. "25 minutes into the game and there's a battle between Delta and einherier. And Delta doesn't have a good time right there. He has lost this fight big time, so I think at this point it's almost over. Because I don't really see a way how Delta can come back from this, even though he has made some towers in advance. Well, they both have just quit, so this game goes to Call of Duty einherier. Good job, lads. I hope that we don't have to wait another hour for the next game. We'll see how that works out, though. And it's time to wait for the lobby. Meanwhile, I'm going to take a look at what you're writing. Which apparently isn't too much, so yeah. Welcome back to the game. Yeah. Next game. Now we have Call of Duty einherier versus Detrom and Hoxa. Once more, Sweden and Prussia. And I'm not sure if it previously was Sweden as well. I didn't quite look at this to be honest, but I think it was. So we're seeing the second game like this. Probably going to stay like this as well. And we are probably going to see some interesting tactics. Well, hopefully, like last game, or not like last game, better said, where one team used artillery and another one didn't. Isn't quite enjoyable to see just a steamroll. Well, it might be, but I don't think it's a sense of game. Some interesting gameplays. You can see, I'm not sure if the balloon is actually on or not, because I don't really trust in this system anymore. But I can just switch around to the players and look if the balloon is on or not. Actually, I can just look in the academy. No, there's no balloon, so my doubts were justified. Pardon me. The first two stars are going up from Call of Duty and einherier. On the other side, there's still interesting stuff going on, but I'm too lazy to check if people got their balloon now, so I'm not going to talk about that just now. I'm going to wait and make sure that the balloon is actually there, which is probably going to happen around the time when the peacetime actually ends. Because you want to use the resources to push the economy first, the balloon can come a bit later. So now einherier has the balloon. So now we can talk about the other people, and I'm quite interested to see what's going to happen with this pikeman's man from Atom and Antoxa. Considering that Adam even goes for the Swedish race, for the Swedish knights. I'm really curious what he's planning to do, but it's probably just going to be a rush. And Antoxa even has some cannon, so they are definitely not making the same mistake as their previous players. It looks like Atom is also going to make some cannons. This time there's also an artillery depot and cannons of all of it. Not yet from einherier though, which might pose a problem for him to well, push forward. Peacetime is ended, and people are instantly starting to move. In even information. So they are clearly not expecting cannon resistance, at least maybe not Antoxa is not expecting that. But considering the actual situation, he's right. He doesn't have to fear a cannon strike, because einherier doesn't have cannons. But the Hussars are trying to swing around, take out some mines probably. Most likely getting a dual nation in this. All of it already got the Swedish. And now he's raiding Antoxa with a lot of success, I think, because Antoxa did not expect this. But this mine explosion did a hell of a lot of damage. And he's escaping through a little gap in the wall. This wall was not very well built. Otherwise it wouldn't have had a gap, but yeah, you cannot build a perfect wall sometimes. Sometimes you just have to deal with what you've got. And Toxa is closing in on einherier's base. Probably einherier should just go in and attack, because when the cannon arrives, he is going to be dog food. And he is starting to make his formations. He's most likely going to do a strike back, followed with a shelling down on Atom's army with his cannons, which is quite effective. Atom's cannons are also there though, so they are not going to give him an easy time. I think Call of Duty is going to try and bait Atom into the range of his log cabin and probably take some grape shots with his cannons. Or he is trying to shell down on the knights, which are a good target, I think. Which is exactly what he's doing, and he's inflicting quite a bit of damage, but he's also falling back again. Probably because he doesn't have his fire rates yet. It looks like Call of Duty actually decided to go for the first firepower, the coal costing firepower instead of this fire rate, which is a quite funny decision, I think. I never use it that way. And Call of Duty just destroyed one of his own gold mines with his cannon. So that was a stupid move, but I think he just didn't know that he could do that. I think that a lot of players don't know that they can actually kill their own buildings using their own cannons. Apart from when they are getting captured, of course. And I can see the cannons of Call of Duty moving into the enemy. I don't know if that's actually the case, but it's looking quite funny. Apparently the cannons did actually move into the enemy army, and now some of them have been captured and destroyed. But it's okay because this army of Adam has been completely wiped off the face of the earth. So they are not going to come back anytime soon, but einherier is having big trouble. He still doesn't have any cannons, I think. And he's getting shelled like mad. Plus there's hussars on his top, so if he wants to go for an attack into Antox's army, he's going to get hussared. And that's not very beneficial to his cause either. Apparently, einherier is not caring about destroying his mines. Kill the hussars. There was a very nice opportunity for a mine explosion, but he didn't take it. Apparently he tries to recapture the mine. No, never mind, this wasn't him. This was actually the hussars from Antoxa. Which means that Antoxa already has a second nation. And einherier is getting his first cannons. They are late, but they might just still help a little bit against this attack in advance. And einherier is going in. It doesn't look like he's gotten his fire rates. We'll have a look into this. And einherier only has one fire rate, which is okay though. It's not very okay for his combat performance though, because he got absolutely destroyed. He did save his hussars though, so that's a good decision. However, now Call of It might actually have to pull back because Antoxa is surely going to go for him next. But apparently Call of It is going to try and take out Adam first. And he doesn't have a firepower advantage because Adam actually has far more cannons than him. And Call of It is taking major damage. On the bright side, some of Adam's cannons are hitting his own palisade wall. Fortunately not enough to stop this damage. But it's still a little bit. And there's a hole in Adam's wall, so hussars can apparently get through. These hussars on the wall were very lucky, so were the round shears to not get completely destroyed by one cannonball, because there was just an entire cannon barrage going in, and none of them hit actually. The hussars are engaging in melee combat with pikes and round shears and some grenadiers, which is a very bad idea. Because hussars are clearly not made for this. You would like to have cuirassiers for this, but people go for hussars because of the bigger amount of them being able to be produced and used efficiently. And Call of Duty and they appear to give up. They are getting completely destroyed by hussars now. It looked good in the beginning, but the battle, the complete destruction of einherier's army has been the nail in the coffin, I think. Some more cannons being captured by Antoxa. Maybe these cannons can inflict some damage to this unstoppable hussar block, by shooting some grape shot. The Swedish Knights have failed against the Hussars apparently. There's some more coming in, but I don't know if they're actually going to make it. There's also some launches there, and apparently they are going to make it. Which is a surprise. Or actually they didn't make it. It looked very close though, because suddenly a lot of the Hussars started dropping. Well, this actually wasn't the Hussars of Call of It as I expected. This was the Hussars of Antoxa that were left there. And now he is going in, going to clean up the last of Call of It. There was a grab shot of a cannon, but it wasn't as effective as I would hope it to be. Probably because of the high damage resistance or general health of Hussars and cavalry. Which historically isn't really a thing. You could just shoot the horse and it would still probably drop even faster than an infantry unit. Yeah, this appears to be over. And people are quitting. So that's over. We are going to move on to the next game. At least quite soon. We'll see how that works out. And we are once more back with another game. This is the second game to best of three game between einherier and Adam and Toxa. Apparently, and Adam cannot move his peasants. That's quite weird. And we are going to rehost. Then we are back. Hopefully this time we won't have to rehost again. Again, Prussia versus Sweden. I don't know if Prussia and Sweden actually had anything to do with each other in the histories and historical times. I don't know that Prussia and Denmark didn't quite like each other. I'll have to get into that sometime else. It appears like people like to collect a lot of stone with their leftover peasants from their peasant army. At least the stone quarry seems to be a little bit overcrowded. Not on Einheier's side. But I'm sure that he will get this fixed sometime soon. so we'll enjoy it. And hopefully this time einherier is going to hit cannons more early. Oops, pardon me. Accidentally touched our microphone, I don't know if that was hearable. The medic center's coming up, at least for einherier. Sort of bit making his one as well. It's a little bit later, but I think it's still okay. Still in the opportunity to be good as everybody else's. Einheier's got his balloon, so I can talk about everybody. It appears like Atom and Tox are going again for their pack strategy. Worked out last time, so I shouldn't this time. This time, Einherier seems to go ahead and prepare himself with 2 artillery depots, which funnily enough are built by 1 peasant each. I hope that he's going to change this, because this will take years. If he's going to use the peasants that built a stable to build the artillery depots as well. We can see a lot of wards coming up. One could argue if these wards are even any use if the enemy just breaks through it with his cavalry, but or his cannons, but they're probably just made for distraction anyway. Peacetime is soon to end. People are mobilizing. At least Adam does. And he has cannons, a lot of them. Einherier is still... Well, he just made his first cannon, I think. But this doesn't match the half a dozen cannons that Adam actually has. I think Color also just finished his first cannon, but Doxa also has more cannons than him. The wall has been breached. Einherier for some reason attacking a piece of the palisade wall. Now he's moving through as well to escape from Doxa's hussars and capturing some stuff with Color. And Color is tanking quite a bit of mine explosions and lock cabin shots, which both Antox and Adam don't need to worry about ammunition. They don't use it for their main force. And Adam actually broke through Einherier's wall using a ton of siege Cossacks, which is interesting. He has a bunch of melee units that could have made quicker work, or cannons, but I think that's just for his raiding capabilities. Even though he's Swedish as well, he can as well just conquer the mines. And it's actually quite funny that Einherjer is so passive about his gold mine, getting it captured and destroyed without even helping it. Doesn't look like Einherjer is going to stand for too long, considering he's kind of moving his cannons into the enemy, basically gifting them cannons. Doesn't even help that Atem already has a ton of cannons, ready to dispatch of Einherjer. And this melee army as well, so that's not very good. Yeah, this isn't very good for Einherjer. And Call of Bit is not moving as well. There's some Toxa moving in slowly. Einherjer is he should probably escape. Actually, he does actually win. This log cabin is putting up a valiant last stand, taking quite a few of shots, but it succumbed to the cannon fire. And it looks like Einherjer actually has no more ammunition, because this log cabin is not shooting as fast as it should be, or it got destroyed, I mean. I don't think that log cabins are going to get nerfed in between two games. He should probably go and repair his last log cabin. And he is. It's almost as if he can read my mind. And he's trying to capture the last cannons of Adam with his hussars, but they're Swedish knights. Actually, he did capture 3 cannons. He's having a lot of success capturing these cannons, but there's reinforcements coming in. He should destroy his cannons immediately. And he apparently doesn't even bother about destroying them. That was a very, very poor move. Even if you have to micromanage a lot, you should still be able to destroy captured cannons. That doesn't take long, and it won't take long. That's all basically. And I haven't really seen what happened up here. Well, actually, Antoxa seems to have fallen back, which is beneficial for Collar because Collarfit therefore can collect more power and get its upgrades going, its fire rates and such. Which Collarfit once more went for the coal fire power first instead of fire rate, which is it's a very weird decision for me. And then Toxa is capturing some peasants from Collar, killing them. He is Prussia himself, so this doesn't really affect him, though he has Sweden as well. And Adam doesn't have Prussia, so that's okay, I guess. Apart from the fact that neither Collar apparently. Well, Collar doesn't have it, but it looks like Einherier used to have Prussia. But Antoxa destroyed it with his Hussars. And Einherier is moving forward. I don't know what he's planning to do with this, considering Adam surely has cannons, a lot of them. Because Einherier, I cannot see any cannons from Einherier. Well, actually I do. They are quite behind. They are quite far behind those, so you might actually want to take it easy and go slow. Would be a beneficial thing to do for him, considering that if he goes in without his cannons, he's just going to get bombed, and you don't exactly want to get bombed. Calf skirmish coming in from Antoxa and Colorfit apparently. At least it looks like it right now. I'm not sure if they're actually going to engage because Antoxa seems to have a lot more Hussars. There are some reinforcements from Einherier coming in though. And Adam is moving out again as well. Again with some siege Cossacks in his reserve to previously raid Einherier, which is most likely going to be even more successful than last time, considering he didn't patch up his wall, and he's building a mine without any guards. But it's okay because Adam already has Sweden. He was Sweden to begin with. So this isn't any major damage. And Toxa goes for mass pikeman. Well, who would have expected, but he's actually using the 18th pikeman now. I think that's quite okay because Colorfit surely has a certain fire rate by now. He doesn't actually. Which that's actually surprising me because it's already 20 minutes into the game. And whilst I do get that cannons are good, you shouldn't just monopolize and completely rely on them. Especially not if your enemy is completely going for pikes. And Antoxa's going in all in, and Colorfit is completely out of position. He only has one or two formations of musketeers up front to take care of pikemen that are moving in. Now he's going all in. A little bit late, but okay. At least he can still prevent some big damage here. If he manages to keep his cannons, because the cannons are just moving around very skittishly. I hope it's even a word. Shelling coming in from Antoxa. And Adam managing to raid Einherier again, as I predicted. big damage from the cannons of Antoxa. The mass pikeman might actually work indeed. The lack of fire rate for Polofit is not helpful. Actually now he has a second fire rate, it was late, but he still has some musketeers left. These might actually still turn the tide. Considering there's also Hussar reinforcements from einherier. But Adam is also moving all in. And this isn't an army that einherier would want to fight without his Hussars, but einherier is continuing to chase Antoxa with his Hussars. Well, now he's pulling back, and I think that Polofit is also pulling all back towards einherier. I don't know if that's actually a smart decision, because Antoxa is almost ready for an attack again. And he's also going for musketeers now. At least for 17 spawns. Well, a few of them, I mean. Well, no, he just stopped producing for a while, probably for upgrades. Which is obvious because you cannot produce when you're upgrading. And einherier is moving his men, he's walking his men into the enemy army. A disaster, but he managed to pull his order around before he took complete destruction to his face. And einherier does not have any fire rate at all. So I don't know why he's actually playing musketeers. He could have as well just gone all pike like Adam and Antoxa. A very weird strategy, because this is not helpful. Maybe he just fucked up his trades or something like that. Actually, is this even a game with market? Yes, it is. So he might have probably just fucked up his trades. I can see some shelling coming in. This doesn't look like cannons. I think Adam has mortars. And the barracks from einherier are falling. Golofik getting severely raided. He's trying to use his peasants against it. However, the unfortunate thing is that this is a game mode with peasant capture on. So this is completely useless. It might even damage him even worse. At least when there are no military units nearby, which is usually not the case if you move all of your army out to help somebody or attack. It looks like this is almost game over for einherier, though he's trying to escape with some of his peasants. But Adam knows, and he's sending siege Cossacks and Swedish knights there. Yep, and there goes einherier. Polofit is still trying to fight off Antoxa. I think that the sheer mass of the units from Adam and Antoxa is just going to be too much. Considering that Adam also makes superhero pikemen now, there's no chance that Polofit can still survive this battle. Which is quite sad. They did quite well in the first two battles at each base, but einherier simply wasn't able to take the damage. He hasn't had a fire rate for the entire game basically. His cannons were nice, but he didn't have enough of them early enough. The pikeman mass strategy is probably just better for this type of game mode. At least we've learned this now. And the big blue blob from Adam moving in onto the Colorfit city. Apparently, Star has a question for einherier. Apparently, he thinks that einherier sent all of his resources to Color, but einherier didn't. He simply didn't have any resources, apparently. Which is quite sad. Colorfit has a big army of cannons, but yeah, Adam is trying to shell Colorfit's Hussars with his cannons, but that's not working because the Hussars are just too fast. Colorfit is now going to engage the army of Adam with his musketeers and round shears, which are quite out of position. Cannons of Colorfit are going to be captured, which is not going to be productive either. Apparently Starman is accusing einherier of trolling, which is very, very unkind. And Rupter is calling einherier a she. That's just insulting. And now Rupter is calling Starman a she. Ah, wonderful. People roasting people in this game. At least some kind of banter. Yeah, people will stay in GG. Call of its resistance has pretty much been stumped at this point. The log cabin isn't even shooting anymore, so it doesn't have any ammunition. So this is over. Apparently, I don't know, was this actually the final? I asked Colorful previously, but I think that he talked about his game. About this game. It's the final, it's over. So we have a winner, it's Adam and Atoxa. Congratulations. So, yeah, this was the stream for today. And yeah, what am I supposed to say? Well, I guess we could say that we'll see you tomorrow with another stream. It's Sunday tomorrow, so I'll be there again. Maybe AIDA will be there too. We don't know yet. Anyway, I hope you enjoy your day or your night, depending on where you live or where not. And well, bye bye from my side.